Hello, my favorite listeners. I bring you greetings from all of us here at Wholesome Words Mission International Incorporated. I come today for another episode of our YouTube audio cord from the book titled Effective Teaching, a Radical Professional Approach for Theological Educators in Africa. I want to believe that by now you already have a copy of this book in your library. If not, I urge you to try and get a copy of this ebook. Today we'll be getting on to section 2, and section 2 comprises of 3 chapters, chapters 4, 5, and 6. Section 2, let's get on to the reading. Happy listening. Understanding the learner. Chapter 4, who is the learner? Pedagogical and andragogical perspectives. Introduction. Understanding the learner is a foundational requirement for effective theological teaching. Whether engaging a class of teenagers in a youth discipleship program or training adult pastors in seminary, a theological educator must grasp the need, nature, learning styles, and spiritual journey of their students. In Africa, where learners vary widely in age, culture, educational background, and spiritual maturity, an informed approach to pedagogy, teaching children, and andragogy, educating adults, becomes essential for transformational teaching. This chapter explores the distinctions and intersections between pedagogy and andragogy. It examines the implications of learning styles in African theological contexts and considers the role of spiritual formation in shaping both learner and the teacher. Pedagogy, teaching children and adolescents. Pedagogy, traditionally defined as the act and science of teaching children, is rooted in developmental psychology and aims at guiding dependent learners. In the African context, many theological institutions also run Sunday school teacher training programs, youth Bible schools, and secondary level discipleship curricula, making pedagogical insight crucial. According to Asamoah Gyan 2022, theological training for children must be contextually adapted to local realities of oral tradition, community learning, and imaginative expression. African children often grow up in communal, narrative-driven cultures. Therefore, teaching them should go beyond abstract doctrinal context or content to embrace storytelling, visual aids, songs, memory verses, and group activities. The work of Mafusa and Kuba 2021 highlights that theological pedagogy for adolescents must account for identity formation and spiritual questioning. Youth in Africa today wrestle with cultural hybridity, torn between ancestral values and globalized ideologies. Theological educators must help them root their faith in Christ while affirming their cultural identity. Key characteristics of child learners include 1. High dependence on the teacher. 2. Need for structure, routine, and affirmation. 3. Sensitivity to relational dynamics. 4. Strong response to experiential and sensory methods, games, visuals, music, etc. Pedagogical approaches must therefore blend discipleship with cognitive development, always nurturing faith while forming morals and intellectual maturity. Andragogy, educating adult learners. Coined by Malcolm Nowelis, andragogy refers to adult learning theory and centers on self-directed, experience-rich learners. In African theological education, the majority of students in seminaries and Bible colleges are adults, often pastors, lay leaders, and professionals seeking theological grounding. Okolo and Benda 2023 explained that adult learners bring decades of life experience, ministry exposure, and cultural wisdom into the theological classroom. Educators must honor this by using participatory dialogical approaches. Key principles of andragogy include 1. Adults are internally motivated and self-directed. 2. Adults bring life experiences that shape their learning. 3. Adults desire learning that is immediately applicable. 4. adults are goal-oriented and prefer problem-solving approaches. In the African church context, many adult learners seek theological education not only for academic credentials, but for spiritual empowerment, pastoral effectiveness, and community leadership. Therefore, andragogical approaches must 1. Integrate real-life ministry case studies, 2. Encourage collaborative learning and peer reflection,